Oh, so what do we got here? We got Governor Pritzker. He talking? He popping off at the mouth? Let's see what he talking about. Yeah. I heard he popping off at the mouth with this one.
We're speaking with Homeland Security Secretary Noem on Sunday. If she were to call you, what would you say? What's your message to her?
Well, I tell her that what she's doing is inflaming passions and causing disruption that doesn't need to be caused. We have people that have lived, yes, in the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago for decades, working here, paying taxes. They're law-abiding members of our communities, friends, neighbors, and why are we
the law-abiding are not the problem?
Why are we making them disappear? Indeed, they're even disrupt.
He's using these fear-mongering words again. Democrats will never learn. As long as they stay on this pivot of messaging, they will never, ever learn. I don't think they really understand the damage they did to the American public over the 14 years with the censorship, the woke, and the DEI. I think they believe they'll recover from that in one election. Even if they take back the House and the Senate in the next election and the presidency, it will not change sentiment. The only thing that will change is censorship. He's using words like disappear. He is definitely on the pedestal to run for 2028 because he's using words like Gestapo tactics without actually saying that actual word. He is not speaking to the average American citizen. He is speaking to the average political activist, the person that is a LARPer, the person that lives in a safe area that has no intent of actually going in the places of Chicago where things actually matter. They are not going into the Woodlawn area on the south side of Chicago. You are not going to see Governor Pritzker ever post his feet there. And if he does, you can best bet the entire police force will be behind those cameras. Mayor Johnson, the part they don't show you, the reason why he's making touts such as crime is dropping is because he lives in an area where he has 24-hour, 7 days a week detail.
Disrupting the lives of people who are attempting to go through a legal process to stay in this country, who've been in.
What he's doing is conflation without distinction. What he's trying to do is merge legal citizenship with illegal citizenship. This is the problem everyone is having. You're attempting to make people believe they don't see what they're seeing. What we call this in the political strata is gaslighting.
Invited to a hearing, and then they're arresting them in the hallways on their way to that hearing.
If they came here legally, there would be no need for a hearing.
It's anti-American, it's un-American.
Anti-American.
And I would tell her to maybe check herself for what is she really
before she
believe.
wreck herself.
She's also critical of the fact that Chicago is one of those cities that doesn't cooperate with federal immigration operations. And she was quoted as saying that Illinois, quote, refuses to have our back.
Well, that's not true. In fact, there were police officers who made sure that there was nobody interfering or attacking or causing problems for.
Where? You're going to have to show me that one, Cletus. Come on, Cletus, you're going to have to show me that one. You're going to have to show me that one. You're going to show me what, just 5 officers protecting ICE? Because I'm pretty sure if that was a real common thing, that would have been all over YouTube by now.
The ICE officials that were here, people have a right to express themselves. People have a right to their First Amendment, freedom to express. And we protect that too in the city of Chicago. So it's not true that nobody has their backs. What we won't do, however, is engage in what is a federal effort. That is to say, they have their job, immigration.
We keep pretending as if crime is not an issue in Chicago. 35 people were shot over the weekend of August 31st, 2025. The crime stats are reporting that crime is dropping, specifically homicides. The problem they're not telling you is in the Cook County morgue right now, There's well over 342 something odd bodies that are currently backlogged. They have not been classified if they died by way of natural causes or if they died by way of homicide. That creates a problem in itself. Now, keep in mind, they're tracking everything from the 2020 pandemic and they're moving forward in case you're wondering how far back are they tracking. That's important to know. You hear people say, oh, the stats are being juked. I hear this all the time. This is one of the ways you can see for yourself. There's ways to work around having crime reported at a lower status. Due to the fact that Trump won the election and since he's been really pushing to drop crime and since what we have seen happen with DC, Chicago wants to happen there because naturally what happens is Chicago moves with the national crime average. So what that means is normally if there's some type of high level, high intensity event going on, such as the pandemic, usually tensions are higher, crime will seem to skyrocket, especially in all the blue cities. However, when those things tend to subside, then what you notice is crime will drop in Chicago, but it will also drop in a lot of the different other blue cities across the nation. So it's not really unprecedented for Chicago to do this. However, major cities across the county include Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles has seen significant declines in violent crime since the unrest of 2020. Chicago reduction in murders and shootings, as well as its general decline in violent crime, appear to mirror national trends. The ugly weekend was an exception, so there you go. Executive orders that have been instituted by Trump has caused a lot of the crime to go down, which is he's proven that it's not very difficult to solve this crime issue. What is happening is, particularly in this video, Pritzker is proving why Democrats are only caring about the power in Chicago and they're gerrymandering the death out of Chicago, and they do not want to fix the issue because Trump has shown the issue can be fixed. Just because something is uncomfortable doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
We have our job, which is to fight violent crime on the streets of our city. And by the way, we're succeeding at that job. But when they bring people in and don't coordinate with us, they're going to cause enormous problems.
We're speaking with Homeland.
Incoming rant in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rant engaged. This is what people are tired of you gaslighting them, making them feel as if things are more secure than they're truly not. Just because you even give what I just did as a crime stat report, what people feel in their everyday life is very different. And crime stat reports can be juked with no problem. I think ultimately if the Democrats don't change their messaging and they keep down this line and they keep pushing this issue, because I'm telling you, it's not about just immigration alone. It's a multitude of different things. I think the immigration issue is the catalyst where people are getting to the point where they're saying, you know what, I don't care anymore. Just go ahead, send them back. They're going to stop trying to be peaceful, because one of the most frustrating things is when a person that feels they're rational is speaking to a person that's irrational. They don't understand when they keep trying to explain 2 + 2 is 4, and you keep saying, yeah, I hear you, but the truth of the matter is 2 + 2 is 8. And they're looking at you saying, are we even speaking the same language? What do you not understand? So what happens is they just stop speaking to you and they start taking action. And then you get ICE. That's what you get. In Chicago, this is not going to be a fly-by-night issue. We're definitely going to be watching the blue cities much more closely because the narrative is now changing. You're not going to be able to just call black people that no longer have the same thought of vote blue no matter who. You're not going to be able to call them coons anymore. People have been calling black people coons for the longest, and there are some coons. I don't believe in the idea of going out of my way to insult and belittle my own people. I would not vote for someone that doesn't have my own interests at heart. And I know most people are going to say, well, Trump definitely don't have your interests at heart. Democrats have had the floor for well over half a century. I'm to believe they have my best interests at heart. The only difference is they just put their arms around you when they tell you they have your interests at heart, and they say everything is going to be okay. Trust in me. And we keep allowing in our community every other movement ride on the coattails of the black movement. They try to convince us that we're one and the same because they know the black voice is a powerful voice. If the black voice screams loud enough, people will turn their heads on a political stage. So what happens? You have feminists that come and pile on the movement. You have the LGBT that says, hey, we're suffering the same affliction, so we're part of the same movement. But here's the trade-off. No matter what you do and say, you cannot stop being black. But you can pretend to stop being LGBTQ if it's required to save your life. You can't do that to be black. The only thing you can do is be black and be a sellout. That's it. That's all. There's no other way to say it. And best believe, I am not alluded to the fact on the right, we definitely have some black sellouts. We do. We do. We got some that go out of their way to embarrass us and make us look like complete idiots. Yes, we do. I believe just because you're black and you're Republican, you do not have to go out of your way to insult black people. You can address the problem. You can address the issue. But there are some I see that are black on the right. They call black people monkeys and they make these gorilla. I've seen it. To me, no, I don't think you need to do that because here's the trade-off. I am not stupid. America is a homogenous Christian nation. And I make no bones about it. I am very aware this immigration issue also involves a racial component. The problem with that is the racial component is involved because it's no longer about moral value. The argument that's being made on the left that they don't understand is they think morality should be king. When people are in a mode of survival or they feel they're in a mode of survival, morality goes out the window. Let's stop playing coy here. We know that to be true. But as long as you keep having this same language that Governor Pritzker is having, trying to have conflation without distinction, trying to merge in, oh, these are just nice, upstanding citizens. We have federal laws on the books that says, hey, this is what happens if you are an illegal immigrant and you come here. We're not here to dehumanize them. I'm not trying to say they are subpar or they're inferior people. What I am saying, if you come here, and many of these undocumented immigrants have made it astutely clear, they have no desire to assimilate. They have no desire to fit in. They have no desire to advance the nation. Different cultures do think differently. It goes two ways. Sooner or later, you'll keep calling a person a Nazi, and you know what they'll say? You know what? I'm tired of it. So what? I'm a Nazi. Now what? And then what do? And then what do you do? Because this thing here that Pritzker is doing, he's doing it for political currency, but he doesn't understand the long term. See, when the news in Chicago shows you the camera, they only show you the liberal activists. They don't show you the cameras of the other side. And if they did, I'm telling you, you would understand very differently. And what do you think will happen when people start to look up and say, there seems to be a lot more of these foreigners than there are of this particular culture or citizens of its people of that respective nation. In America, what do you think is going to happen when they say, we don't mind bringing a few people here, but when we're bringing them by the millions, and they're telling us they do not want to assimilate, they do not want to be part of our culture, they do not want to do things the way things are ran. How do you think it would be if you went to another country such as China and you started complaining about how things were done there and how that particular country needs to change and assimilate to your way of being by American standards? Kamala Harris went over to Africa. I forget the particular country she went to in Africa. And she had the audacity to tell those people, specifically the president of that particular country, that he should be more lenient and open-minded to the LGBTQ. You know what that guy told her? He told her to F off. That's what he told her. He said, you do that in your country. We don't do that here. And the problem is people are looking and probably listening to this video and saying, this is hatred. It is not hatred. People have had a lot of issues with these different problems and concerns for a very long time. They were just slapped with an iron mask, so you could not hear them speaking. So they were just speaking into the void and you didn't care. So now they're just returning the favor. Because here's the, why do we act like this is a revelation for the country? Why do you think a lot of Black people are not riding the coattails of the immigration issue this time? Because you know what happened? This time around, they saw that big business and Democrats have been middle fingering them for well over half a century because they were dropped directly into their neighborhoods. You know how it feels to be a suffering Black person in a community and you go to the SNAP benefit line? You know how bad it feels to be told back of the line because an undocumented immigrant gets priority over you? That's a hell of a feeling. Especially when you can say at the very least, yes, I live in the ghetto. Yes, I live in a bad area. Yes, I live where it's rough, but at least I can say I'm an American citizen. I have an opportunity. I have a chance. But when they get told you don't matter more than the undocumented immigrant, people are going to become bothered. This is why a lot of Black people are upset. They won't say it out loud, but this is why they are upset. This is why you don't see a lot of Black people parading the streets in protest to support illegal immigration. Because I'm sorry to tell you, look at any country that was overtaken by another country or race of people and ask them, how did that turn out? Let's ask how Iran was in the 60s before Islam took over. People don't like the concept of something that they worked hard for being taken away from them, and they just have to simply give it up. That's very problematic for a lot of people. Black people overall have been in a struggling position forever. And people say, just pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Hey, that's very easy to say, but not easy to execute. People went in the Black community, they went from slavery to Jim Crow South. And once Jim Crow South ended, they were dumped into projects that were 15 floors high, stacked on top of each other like lemmings. No skills, no trades. They were beaten if they learned English. The ones that learned English, math, science, they had to do it in secret. But then what backfired was we got a group called the Talented 10th. W.E.B. Du Bois. And their concept was the intellectuals of the Black community, or the talented Black intellectuals, should be the ones that dictate all the governance of the Black community. Basically, they accepted the fact that there was just going to be some people in the Black community, they are lost, they're too far gone, they can't catch up. You need someone to speak and advocate on their behalf, and they should be the ones to do it. There were some pros and cons to it. But the problem I keep coming back to is that in today's time, Black people's mindset is very differently now. Just because I'm Black and I'm on the right and I'm a Republican doesn't mean I agree with everything on the right. I will also call out the stupidity on the right. Because one thing I strongly believe above all else, we become truly lost as a nation when we lose our ability to have discernment. We should be able to call out the stupidity on the right and the left. The left should be able to call out the stupidity on the left and the right. Unfortunately, the left has been hijacked by a bunch of these woke liberals with pink hair, blue hair, septum rings, and Zers. So the ones that are Democrats, that are rational, the centrists, those of that nature, that ilk, they're drowned out. They're told they're archaic. They're told, hey, beat your feet. You don't belong here. This is why I believe we should have term limits in Congress. I do. We should have term limits in Congress. Seriously, that's just my opinion. So guys, that's the video. I know I went on a little bit of a rant, but hey, I wanted to let it be known what is the clarity of my thoughts. And I want you guys to get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. I want you guys to know this is not a platform of an echo chamber. I welcome pushback. I want pushback. I don't want to be in a position where I'm so much of an ideologue that I only see the world one way. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your feelings. Subscribe, share, comment, like. It helps me go a long way when you guys engage in the comment section. That's the new YouTube terms of service. Give me a like. Even if you give me a thumbs down, let me know how you feel. I want to hear from you guys. I will catch you guys in the next one. It's about to get hot.